Vamos a grabar y buenos días, muy buenos días. ¿Cómo
Ok.
están todos?
Ya,
¿Están bien?
sí, estamos
Bien.
bien.
¿Están
Ujú.
bien? Ok, vale. Fantástico, fantástico. Um, Today, what I have mapped out, and I may give you a little bit of a choice one way or the other. We'll see how things go along. Today is the last class of summer session. Para que sepan, so everybody knows as a reminder, because I know there's some people who will be watching this later on. So do not tune in next week because we don't have a session up for next week. And fall session for Monday, fall session starts September 14th.
Ujú.
Sounds horribly late, but that's because September 7th is Labor Day. It falls late, and that, of course, is a Monday holiday. So we cannot have class September 7th. But if you're signing up for other Scottsdale classes, anything on Tuesday, September 8th will start fall. But for this Monday class, if you wish to register, first class will be September 14th. Okay. Vale, that's it. Quick reminder, because a lot of times people's schedule gets busy and they need to know that. Okay, a ver, ¿qué vamos a hacer? What are we going to do? I want to kind of go back. Today, I want to go back to the itty bitty words that sometimes come in front of verbs, not 100% of the time, but often the little itty bitty words of the lo, the la, the le, the say word, maybe. You'll hear some say words from now and then. Yeah. And all those little words often come in front of a verb. They are what are called pronouns and they serve different purposes. Especially the say, it serves a lot of purposes. That's kind of complicated. I don't know if we'll get to everything about say today, but we'll touch on it a little bit. But we want to clear up any other little questions you've got about the lo, the la, and maybe even a le, because those little words come in front of verbs. And whenever you're listening or reading, you don't want that little word, which may be unexpected if you're listening for the big ideas. We don't want the little words to be a huge speed bump for our understanding what's going on. But before we get to the lo and the la, and maybe the le, and maybe the se, I want to check out I want to check out our listening video from last week to see if you've got any questions. El video del tour, del recorrido, the tour, el tour del Airbnb, de una cabaña, el tour de la cabaña en Canadá. See? And we had one nice adjective that is a nationality adjective that does not end in o, the canadiense. La cabaña canadiense, the Canadian cabin. Quiero saber, primero, I want to know first, if you have any question about any terms she used, any particular phrase she might have used, vocabulary, lo que sea, whatever it might be. Any questions you had on that video that we should stop and take a look at? See, or no, had a lot of descriptions, things that we're working on
Yes.
with descriptions. So that kind of helps you follow up on. Oh, here is a longer version description.
Ujú.
Uh, Nada? Nothing?
Mm.
Bien, ok. Fácil, fácil o difícil?
Medium.
Fácil. Yeah.
Fácil, okay, vale, bien. Yeah, we want it to be challenging enough to make you listen for the big idea. And with all these videos, you're listening for the big idea. You're not listening to translate word for word. You want to get the main thoughts, concepts, ideas that the speaker wants to present. Okay, bien. Vale, and she had a few lows thrown in there. And yeah, so we want to apply things that we used. Um, what I am going to do today, I hope to play a portion only of one video that, because it is extremely long. I'm going to leave the rest of it for people to listen to for the hiatus time we have off between now and fall. So we'll get a start on it. And it'll be the similar concept of a slower video, but listening for the big ideas. Okay. Uh, this idea, let's go back to the idea of lo and when we use lo. So last week we talked about, lo can get more than one, can have more than one meaning, and it depends on how we combine lo with other elements of the sentence. So the lo que is what when what is not a question, leading off a question. Not the what idea of ¿qué es esto? What is this? Or ¿qué haces? What are you doing? Not that what. The what of lo que importa es dormir bien. What matters. The thing that. Lo que generally means what when it isn't a question, or the thing that. Yeah. Lo que me sorprende es el precio. What surprises me? The thing that surprises me is the price. Okay, so lo can have that meaning. Lo can be combined with an adjective, and this happens quite a lot. And then in English, we sub in the word thing, but you will not hear the word that literally means thing in Spanish. Thing is cosa, C-O-S-A, cosa. But you will not hear the word cosa used. You'll hear lo combined with an adjective to say, sí, lo interesante de esta ruta, the interesting thing. All right, so that's when we combine lo with an adjective. We had lo que as a chunk of words. We had lo with an adjective. And now we're going to come to the harder part, because this requires that we know some context of something that was said ahead of time, earlier in a conversation. And that is lo when it's in front of a verb. Then it does have the it idea. It can also be a him or an usted, you pronoun. Now it is a pronoun that is an object pronoun, meaning it is on the receiving end of the action. It does not do the action, okay? Whoever does the action is the subject of a sentence. Whoever does the action determines how we conjugate the form we use for the verb, all right? But the object does not do the action. It has the action, whatever that action is, of the verb done to it, right? So an object is on the receiving end, not the doing end of the verb, okay? Okay? And that lo, now, unlike the lo que, unlike lo with an adjective, those are sort of neutral words. Lo here is a masculine form. It could refer to something abstract, but usually it refers to a human who happens to be a male, or it refers to a thing that is a masculine gender thing. And that means that lo could be also the word la, all right? And then it will be a female person or a female gendered thing, right? And we need context when we are using lo or the word la like this, because here we need to know what that little lo or la word is referring to. It is there to be a stand-in, like actors are stand-ins in the movies, We already know the thing or the person that we're talking about, and we don't want to keep repeating that person or thing as a noun. We want to have the little it word in there to shorten our communication. So we need to know that we're talking about, por ejemplo, for example, a ticket. La entrada. Ah, la compro antes del concierto. The ticket, I buy it before the concert, right? If you only had la compro without that first part of the la entrada question, you wouldn't necessarily know what the la is referring to in la compra, okay? You wouldn't necessarily know. You need to have some sort of reference, some mention of the object or the person that you're talking about first in order to use that word la later to shorten it to it, or to use the word lo later to shorten it also to it. Okay, bien. Bueno, any questions on those or not? No?
On that last sentence, the
Sí.
fact that the the fact that la was used
Mhm.
and that's female, you wouldn't, I'm assuming you wouldn't read that as she bought. It's just,
No, you wouldn't. No.
okay.
Okay, she bought, and here's an important thing because it has to do with word order, and the lo and the la has no relationship to the form the verb will take. It comes in front of the verb,
Mhm.
but it does not affect in any way what the verb conjugation is. Okay. Um, uh, um, okay. For example, audífonos, headphones, ¿sí?
Mhm.
Audífonos, o aquí, audífonos. Audífonos, uh, um, uh, audífonos is now we can't use lo for audífonos because it's a plural. So we have to make it a plural pronoun. It will become, instead of lo, it'll become
Los.
los. Okay. But the word los, if I use los to say them, this object, yeah, uh, it will not have anything to do with the form of the verb. So I can say, oh, we have them. We have them. Los tenemos. Los tenemos. The los does not affect the fact that tenemos is an nosotros verb, right? The tenemos tells us who has it, who has an object. Oh, if we have it, it's tenemos, okay? Los tiene. She has them or he has them. Los tengo. I have them. Yeah, los tengo, right? The los comes in front of the verb, but it does not affect the form that verb goes in. Does that answer your question?
Mhm.
See?
Okay.
And the reason this is a problem is because of the word order. Your English brain wants to say she has it. Yeah.
Mhm.
She has. And we always think of a pronoun as like whatever leads off, yeah,
Mhm.
does the action. But in this case, whatever word leads off doesn't necessarily do the action. I could say ella, she, ella los tiene, ella los tiene, she, them, she has. Okay, so it's like retraining your brain to think in that order. And that's a hard thing to do, and it takes a long time.
Mhm.
Don't
Yes.
think that's, oh, I heard the rule and I'll be able to do it. Like that, it doesn't work that way, right? Because your brain goes back to the pattern it is used to, right? So um, let's let's take a look at a few examples of that. Para practicar, para entender. un ejemplo, ¿no?
Mhm.
Bien. Okay. Por ejemplo, uh, if we want to talk about people or objects that are on the receiving end of the action, right? We're going to need, because these could be people or they could be things. Okay, and that's important because we'll talk about something else later that kind of complicates it. And so it's either going to be a lo, a la, those mean it, right? And or a los or a las, and that means them. Okay. Bien. So if we're talking about this action of jugar, jugar to play a game, a sport or a board game, right? Not playing an instrument, playing a game. Jugar. Okay, in this case, juegan says that more than one person is doing the playing activity. And I am not in the group, so it can't be a nosotros thing. A bunch of people, more than at least two people are doing this activity, right? Maybe more than two people. So, uh, el pickleball. And now it's important that we know we're talking about el pickleball. No hay ningún término, there's no term, no hay ningún término que conozco que quiere decir pickleball. Es un deporte nuevo, relatively new sport, right? El pickleball es muy popular. It's very popular. But now I want to say they're playing it now on the court. Yeah. Ellos lo juegan ahora en la cancha. Lo does not have any relationship to what the conjugation juegan needs to be. Juegan needs to be the way it is because we're talking about ellos. Okay. I might, and this is very, very common, that word ellos could completely disappear because I might say, well, you see the picture. If I say juegan, you know I'm talking about those guys, right? En la cancha, on the court. So I can and often will just drop the ellos if it's obvious visually or from previous conversation. And I'll just say, lo juegan ahora en la cancha. It they play now. It they're playing now. Lo juegan. And the lo is talking about the sport of el deporte, el pickleball. See? El deporte, the sport. Lo juegan. It they play. Okay? Bien? Okay.
Sí.
Let's change this. So we're using something that's not a lo. We're going to use a different thing. We're going to talk about la pelota. La pelota. And let's say, because boy, when I hear those pickleballs getting whacked around, I live not too far from a park. And we have, wow, muy ocupadas. Las canchas están muy ocupadas. The courts are super busy. Están muy ocupadas. They are very busy. La pelota, sí. La pelota de pickleball es dura. It's a hard ball. Okay? It's not squishy. Yeah? It's not squishy. Like maybe your dog. Throw a ball for your dog. You want him to squish that in his mouth. No. La pelota de pickleball es dura. It's hard. All right. And now I'm going to want to say that they're hitting it. And hitting it is going to be a form of pegar. Pegar. Pegar can mean a couple of things, but here it would mean people would know you're whacking the ball. That's pegar. How would I say they're doing the whacking of the ball? What would I do with pegar?
Add an N on the end.
Add
and
an
put-
N, right, take off the R and add an
Again.
N on the end because that tells you more than
Again.
one point.
Okay.
Pegan, pegan. ¿Cómo se dice? They're hitting it.
Los pegan.
Uh,
La
what are they hitting?
the ball.
The
Pegan.
ball.
Pelota.
Yeah, we need to talk about this thing.
La.
Yeah. So it won't be los pegan.
Mm.
It'll be,
Ellos.
yeah,
Yeah.
you might
Ellos
put the word,
pegan la pelota.
yeah. Oh, perdón, sorry. Got a call
Los
coming
pegan.
in. I'm gonna let that go. Ellos la
La pegan.
pegan. Ellos la pegan. But you might just hear, if you're looking at the visual, people may omit that word ellos and just say la pegan. La pegan. Ellos la pegan. Ellos la pegan durante el partido. During the game. Ellos la pegan durante el partido. Ellos la pegan. All right.
Yeah.
So the la doesn't tell you anything about who is doing something. It tells you what is on the receiving end of the pegar, hit. Yeah. See? Ellos la pegan durante el partido. Ok. Vale. Bien. Ok. Let's take a look. Vamos a ver otro ejemplo aquí. El nido, a nest. Sí, el nido es la casita del pájaro. The nest is the
Home.
little house. It's the bird's little house. Okay? El nido es la casita del pájaro. Okay? And we're going to talk about el pájaro. The bird makes a nest. Yeah? So now we have something on the end of making. El pájaro is the one who, he is the little, es el animal, and he is doing that action of hace. So it has to be hace. It can't be hacen. It's got to be hace. It can't be hago because I'm not doing it. It can't be hacemos because we're not doing it. El pájaro, one little living being is doing that. El pájaro hace. But if he makes it, the it now can't be a la like la pelota. It's got to be lo.
No.
El pájaro lo hace en el árbol. He makes it in the tree. Yeah, the bird makes it in the tree. And on the receiving end of the make, create, action of hace is that word lo. The word
Marilyn,
sí.
why wouldn't it be love? Aren't you talking about the casita? And that's not feminine? No, it
Well,
isn't. No.
oh, you could interpret it if you're interpreting casa or casita, it could become a la, but really we're talking about nido, a nest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And sure, you could say he makes his home, he makes it. Es
Okay.
posible, it's
No,
possible.
okay.
La hace, lo hace, but el nido, you know, if we say lo, you know that it means nest. Bien, okay.
Yeah.
Bien. Ok. Vale, bien. Ok, por ejemplo, aquí. Sí. We're going to call these. We're going to change these around a little bit. Ok, si vemos la foto aquí, son básicamente las papas. In Spain, they may call these patatas, but they call them papas in all parts on this side of the Atlantic. Las papas, sí, las papas, potato things, yeah, sí. Mi amigo cocina para la familia. He cooks for the family. ¿Cómo se dice? He cooks them, meaning las papas. Mi amigo.
Las cocina.
Las cocina. See, las cocina. He cooks them. Okay. What is getting cooked? Las papas.
Las papas.
Mi amigo las cocina para la familia. ¿Cómo se dice? My friend serves them, meaning the items he's serving. And the items he's serving is las papas.
The papas.
Mi amigo
Las
las
sirve.
sirve, las
Las
sirve. So,
sirve.
see, it doesn't matter what the verb is, I mean, instead of using cocina, I might want to say he serves these potatoes. Mi amigo las sirve. Mi amigo las sirve. Now, I want you to hold this like as a bookmark in your brain because sometimes in English, if I only say to you in English, and this is why we have a problem figuring this out in Spanish, oh, he serves them. How do you know what them is? He serves them. If I say he serves them, is that talking about a food item or people?
Mhm.
Do I know?
No.
Just from that bit of information, do I
I
know?
don't think so.
No.
I don't really. In English, I don't really know. So with no context, I don't really know. So put a bookmark in that because we're going to come back to that kind of funky thing
Mhm.
in English where sometimes the them might be a person or might be a thing. We're going to come back to that in a bit because this all ties into these little words that come in front of verbs. Okay? We'll come back to that in a little bit. Vale, bueno, a ver. Let's take a look at something else. Oh, hay espárragos. Espárragos is asparagus.
Mhm.
Bien. Los espárragos. No los como. I don't
Like,
Eat.
eat them.
Eat them.
All right. Bien.
Mm.
And no los como. No, them. Well, them I don't eat. Them I
Mhm.
don't eat. No los como. No los como.
Mhm.
Now, if I want to say instead, oh, my kids are very finicky. Yeah, the kids are super finicky. They don't eat veggies. Now I can't use como. Now I need to have a los niños, and instead of como, I've got to change that to
Comen.
comen, right? Now it tells me a
Mm.
different, in this case, group of
Mhm.
humans is doing that action of comer, eating, right?
Mhm.
What I want to say instead is, oh, the kids don't eat them. Los niños no los comen. Los niños no los comen, right?
No.
And don't eat them. The them isn't referring, this los does not refer to niños, the kids. It refers to this particular type of food.
Mhm.
Yeah, right? The receiving end, what is being eaten? Asparagus, right? And that los is not talking about los niños, it's talking about espárragos. Los niños no los comen, ¿sí? And if we're looking at a big Thanksgiving dinner, you might say mom prepares it, meaning the whole. Let's talk about. Let's take this out so that we can. Here we go. Mamá prepara cada año. She prepares every year. Well, we need to know what she prepares. Let's say we want to talk about, instead of espárragos, a whole meal. Okay?
Mm.
La comida, the whole meal. And if I want to say mom's preparing it, mom prepares this kind of Thanksgiving meal every year. Mamá prepara cada año, and we want an it word, and that it word has to represent la comida.
Mamá la parada.
Mamá la prepara. Mamá la prepara. And this la does not talk about mama at all.
Mm.
The la
Mm.
is replacing this thing, which is a whole set of all these dishes. Yeah. La comida, a meal. A meal is one thing, even though there are a bunch of dishes. The la would indicate it's one big abstract, well, not abstract, it's concrete. Mamá la prepara cada año, ¿sí? If you want to ask who cooks it, and we're still talking about la comida, ¿quién? We want an it word in the question now. ¿Quién cocina? Who cooks? But we want to say who's cooking it.
¿Quién la prepara?
¿Quién la cocina? ¿Quién la cocina? ¿Quién la cocina? Who's cooking it? See? If we want to say the children are cooking it, los hijos.
Los cocinan.
Las.
Los
Los.
hijos.
Los
And remember,
cocinan.
when we're saying they're cooking it, the it we're talking about is la comida. Los hijos.
Oh,
Oh, I see.
las.
Las cocinan.
Las.
Los hijos las cocinan. The las has no relationship to this concept of los hijos. Los hijos tells who's doing something. The thing they're doing is cocinan. Cocinan is conjugated. It has the form to correspond to a bunch of people doing it, which is with an N at the end. Cocinan. Los hijos cocinan. Oh, perdón, it should not be las. It should be la, because it's la comida. Bien. Lo siento,
okay.
sorry about that. La comida. Los
Okay.
hijos la cocinan. Los hijos la cocinan. The children are cooking it, and the it is la comida. Bien? Okay, let's
Bien.
change this. Let's talk about a turkey. We got a great big turkey, right? Now we're going to change it all to talk about el pavo. El pavo. El pavo is a turkey. Okay? El pavo. That is now the thing. And now notice I can plug in a bunch of things because I have all these things on the table, right? But if I've established I'm talking about el pavo, the big focus of a big meal is the big meat dish, right? El pavo. ¿Cómo se dice? How do I say mom prepares it? But now I'm talking about el pavo.
Lo.
Lo.
Mamá
So we
lo.
need mamá lo
Lo.
prepara cada año, right? Who's cooking it becomes quien lo cocina, right?
Yeah.
If the children are cooking the turkey, right? Los hijos lo cocinan. Bien?
Okay.
So what word we need for it depends on us knowing from previously seeing, pointing at it, talking about it, what that thing is firsthand. Yeah. If I don't know, if I just show you this big picture, you don't know if I'm talking about la comida, the whole meal, as a one unit thing, or if I'm talking about el pavo, or if I'm talking about la ensalada, or if I'm talking about el pastel, the pie sitting here, right? Bien, we need to know in order to use el, lo or la or los or las, we need to know ahead of time what thing we're referring to. And we might know that from visually seeing it, from somebody pointing to it, or from somebody specifically mentioning it. So generally speaking, it's hard in a lot of cases to just use it or them without knowing ahead of time what the context is. Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay? A ver,
Yeah.
ok. Un ejemplo más, un ejemplo más. Bien. All right, we're going to do one more where we pop up. Let's see what we can do. Let's say we're talking, es la temporada navideña. It's a Christmas scene.
Mm.
It's a Christmas season scene. And let's say we want to talk about el carrito. El carrito is the cart.
Okay.
There's a
Okay.
family who has a cart. Yeah? Bien?
Yeah.
Bien. Okay. Let's say they have a cart because it's the mom and the dad, right? Maybe they're taking turns pushing it. Okay. Ellos, they, and mean the people in the picture, tienen, they have something. ¿Cómo se dice they have it? And the it is el carrito.
Oh, okay.
Low.
Ellos lo
Lo,
tienen.
lo,
Lo.
okay? Ellos lo tienen. They have it.
Mhm.
¿Sí? Bien. And it means el carrito. Bien. Okay. Let's say somebody says ahead of time, ellos van a comprar muchas cosas. Ellos van a comprar muchas cosas. Or, we're going to change it. Muchos regalos, because that's more definite. Muchos regalos. Many gifts. Okay? Okay. Okay. They want, ellos quieren comprar. Ellos quieren comprar. Ellos quieren comprar. We're referring to muchos regalos, many gifts. We're going to have one word that stands in for that whole idea of muchos regalos. What's the one word going to be?
Los.
Los. What do I do with that word los? In English, they buy them, but in Spanish, and here actually you have a choice. This is a trick question. Ellos los quieren comprar. Los is in front of quieren. It is also, notice I've got a special situation here. I've got not one verb working by itself. I've got
Two together.
two together.
Yeah.
I get a choice in Spanish of what I do. Now, the safe thing for you to do is to say, well, I put it in front of the verb. It's safe because it's always okay to do that. Ellos los quieren comprar. Them, they want to buy. But because I've got a two verb combo, I can also say someone may choose to say that same idea by tagging it onto the end of the second verb, the one that's not conjugated. Ellos quieren comprarlos. I still got a los, but now it's tagged on to the end of the comprar. You may hear that. Both of those sentences, the word order is correct in both, even though the los is in a different place in terms of word order. That only happens, I only get a choice like that when I've got two verbs walking together talking about the same activity, right?
Mhm.
Ellos quieren comprar. I could have the same situation if it's two verb combo, like ellos los van a comprar. They're going to buy. They're going to buy them. Ellos los van a comprar. Or ellos van a comprarlos. When it's a two verb, they're working together to talk about the same kind of activity.
Okay.
It is possible you may hear that. So always safe to say right in front of the verb. If I only have one verb, that's the way it's got to go. ¿Ok? Bien?
Ujú.
¿Vale? Ok.
Okay.
Fantástico. ¿Hay alguna pregunta? Any question?
That really clears
Sí.
up, that really clears up a lot for me because a lot of times when I'm in a doctor's office and they have the Spanish thing written on the wall, I go up
Ah,
and try to read it. And that little lo and all that refers back. And sometimes because I don't know the vocabulary, I think it's a noun and it's a verb. And that
okay.
throws me. And now that really
See,
helps.
yeah,
Yeah.
these little pronouns,
Mhm.
so this is kind of a speed bump because when I say, well, listen to a story in a video and
Mhm.
see if you get the big idea, but then you get the little lo words and the little set words and the little let words become a speed bump, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, what does that have to do with
Oh,
whatever this action is?
right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes you've got to know, yeah, ahead of time.
What it
We're
is.
going to listen to something that is going to hopefully clear up another little speed bump. Remember, I told you put a a bookmark in your brain about this concept here of mi amigo las sirve. My friend serves them.
Mm.
Okay, if I have no context, like I walked into this conversation in the middle of it. I came out of the bathroom. I missed the first half of the conversation, right? Somebody just says, "Oh,
Mhm.
he's serving them." You might not know if I mean them. Are they people? Is it the thing he's serving? Is it the people he's serving? Both, both of those concepts talk about who's on the receiving end of this word sirve. All right. But something does happen. This is yet another speed bump that can be confusing. And it's confusing because in English, we don't ever think about this. We don't ever think about, am I using a direct or an indirect object? No one thinks about that in English. You just use the word, right?
Mhm.
So what we're going to do is take a look at another little speed bump word, which could cause a problem. And hopefully this is something that will help you figure it out. Besides lo, besides la, los and las, you may hear the word le, not lo, L-O, not la, L-A, but L-A, 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 but le, L, the L, and the letter E, le. You might hear a le, and that le may be in front of a verb. That le is yet a different kind of object pronoun. It, like lo, like la, le, is on the receiving end of whatever the action is, but it talks about something more specific. And we'll get an explanation.
In Spanish, like, I see him. And your brain goes, wait, is it lo veo or le veo? Le, lo.
Oh. This le
Mm.
is talking about only a human being.
Mm.
Lo could be a human being, but is often an object, a thing, or something abstract. But sometimes we hear the word le.
Le, lo, le, 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 lo, le, le. Even Shakira wasn't sure about when to use lo and when to use le. And in that situation, you just stop speaking, because picking the wrong one feels like a crime. Today, I am going to make this ridiculously clear. By the end of this video, you'll know when to use lo, la, los, and las, when to use le and les.
Okay, now, lo, la, los, and las are direct objects, direct object pronouns. Correct myself, direct object pronouns, but le and les are indirect. The le and the les get something they receive the action of the verb indirectly does not happen. We're using the term to define itself. The le and the les, the human beings represented by either the word le or the word les, which is a plural, and you know that because you see the s at the end. That thing in green, the le or the les, it receives whatever the object, the thing is in the red, lo, la, los, and las. Ah, the indirect object gets the direct object. It gets something, okay? And yeah, but le and les can only be people. They are not things like pelota, like comida, like pavo, like papas. Le and les can only be people. Okay, momentito. So we'll let her go on with that. But like lo and las, they will come in front of the verb. They will be in that same word order that you have heard in the other examples.
The one situation where Spanish speakers break the rules. Sorry. And you'll take a quiz at the end to prove you've got it. Let's fix this once and for all.
My Daily Spanish.
The key idea is this. Lo is a pronoun that replaces the direct object. And le is a pronoun that replaces the indirect object.
All right, so let's go back to what I told you, put a bookmark in it, right? Las sirve. Él las sirve. He serves them, right? Or él lo sirve. Lo would talk about the thing that is being served, right? It is direct object because if you ask a question, what is being served? And it's pavo, turkey, right? We need an it word that's a direct object, a thing that is a masculine thing, in this case, pavo. Él lo sirve. It is the thing being served. But if you want to say he's serving them could be the food that's being served or the people who are being served. The people who are being served in that example of sirve would be a le or a les. It could also be a mete or nos, right? But it might be a le or a les. We'll let her keep going.
Let me explain one by one with examples so you get it super clearly. You can download the PDF cheat sheet from the link in the description. Everything in this lesson simplified for free, so you don't need to pause the video 80 times. Let's go! Lo, direct object. To know what the direct object is, we need to ask, ¿qué? What? What?
Okay, direct object answers the question what, referring to the action going on, right? Direct object answers the question what, referring back to that action.
Or who is being affected directly. For example, in veo el coche, I see the car. Ask yourself, ¿qué veo? El coche. That's the
Okay, maybe I see a thing, el coche. Maybe I see a person, in which case el coche might be veo al hombre, veo a los niños, right? So what you see could be humans, it could be things, right? But you're seeing something, and that answers a question of what. So then the object has to be a lo, a la, a los, a las, right? Could be a metenos, but it's generally going to be one of that lo, la, los, las.
direct object. Lo veo. Another one. Conozco a Pedro. I know Pedro. ¿Qué conozco? ¿A quién?
Yeah. Who do I know? Yeah. ¿A quién? Who do I know?
Whom? A Pedro. Lo conozco.
And here, of course, I know Pedro, and Pedro is a person. But what about the action of knowing? Oh, it's a person, lo conozco. Now, sometimes this conozco, I know, can mean I know my way around when I mean a place, right? Okay. You might say California. You might say el estado de California, the state of California. El estado de California, right? Lo could become it. Talk about California. El estado, the state. El estado de California. Lo conozco. I know my way around it. Sometimes conocer is used to talk about knowing your way around a geographic area. So that's an example of conocer. Could be used with either people or things, but usually, like, in the big pie chart of life, 70% of the time, maybe, it's going to be talking about human beings.
Now, lo changes depending on gender and number. Lo is singular masculine, la for singular feminine, los for plural masculine, and las for plural feminine. Compro una camiseta. La compro. Llamo a mis amigos. Los llamo. Leo revistas. Las leo. We're ready to move on. Le, indirect object. The indirect object answers the question, ¿para quién? ¿A quién? For whom or to whom?
And that is the thing. But now when you're speaking and you got to make a split-second decision, what little itty-bitty word to use, it's hard to go through the gymnastics of this. ¿Para quién? ¿A quién? For whom or to whom? Yeah. So an important thing to know is I can only use le, really, if I'm talking about a human being, right? Or les, the plural form of le. And notice we don't get gender with le and les. It's gender neutral for gender. But it does receive the action of the verb, but in a roundabout way, right? So if I say you're serving them and we're talking about you're serving the people at the table, it becomes a les, right? I'm serving them, meaning the people at the table. We're not talking about the people around the plate that you're putting on the table. Yeah. Servir has both a direct and an indirect component. Servir does. It's okay. It's doing two jobs. We serve a thing, an edible thing, to people. And the to people part is the le or the les. So when we say for whom or to whom, that's where it comes into that bookmarked example we had of servir, right?
This is the person who receives something or who the action is directed toward. See this example. Envío una carta a Marina. ¿A quién le envío la carta? A Marina.
So the thing that is being sent, the action is envío, I'm sending, and the thing that's being sent is una carta, right? But who's getting la carta? Who's getting the letter? Who's getting that direct object that is la carta? That is what we call the indirect object. That is a human being, and it's a one human being. She is now at the indirect. And here, if I'm talking about Marina, I cannot use la, because she is not the thing that I am sending, whether it's electronically or through snail mail. Yeah. She is not, Marina is not a thing being sent. She's getting that thing that we are sending. So Marina has to become an indirect object pronoun, but it'll still come in front of the verb. It'll still go in front of the verb. Le envío una carta. Right? And I need to, I need to maybe specify the thing that I'm sending to her. Le envío says you're sending it to a person. Here, you don't really know if it's a gal or a guy. I maybe have to keep the Marina in the sentence, but we'll usually have that word le.
Envío una carta. Another example. Voy a comprar un regalo para mi hermana. ¿Para quién compro un regalo?
I'm going to buy a gift for my sister. The thing we are buying, I'm not buying my sister. What I'm buying is un regalo. That's a direct object. but somebody is getting un regalo, a gift. Whoever is on the receiving end and actually will take possession of that un regalo is the indirect object. And it's, we need a little pronoun that will refer back to that whole idea of para mi hermana, para mi hermana.
Para mi hermana. Le voy a comprar un regalo.
Le voy a comprar un regalo. That le, we already know, oh, a human being is getting something. And it's just one human being, right? And we might, include the para mi hermana at the end to be specific if we don't know the context of it. Le voy a comprar un regalo. Ooh, I've got two verbs walking together. This could also be voy a comprarle. I can take this le and stick it on the end of comprar. Also, I have a choice because I've got two verbs walking together.
Le escribí un mensaje a mi madre. Le escribí un mensaje. Le replaces a mi madre.
Now, know that people have an option of omitting the a mi madre part, or they can keep the a mi madre part. If they don't think it's clear, they may specify and keep the a mi madre in the sentence. Le escribí un mensaje, we just know that a human being who's only a onesie unit is getting the thing we call el mensaje, a text, let's say. Yeah, we only know that one person is getting it. The a mi madre could be kept in there to be clear on it's a female person and not a male person, okay? So just know the a mi madre might be kept in the sentence. Because that le is iffy. We don't know if it's a guy or a gal, yeah? So if we don't know the context, people may keep the a mi madre phrase in
We
there.
normally use the le in these phrases even when it's not replacing the indirect object. Without it, it doesn't sound natural. Le dije a María la verdad. Le dije la verdad.
Okay, so fun fact. That little green word of le in both of these, and dije is just a past of told. Instead of saying dice, she's telling, right? Or I'm telling. It's dije, I told. It's just making it in the past. That dije is a verb. You need to know that, right? The object pronoun comes in front of the verb. All right, here's what you need to know. Almost nobody will say, dije a María la verdad. Dije a María. I told Maria. They'll almost always include that le word in there. Le dije a María la verdad. You will not hear that sentence without the word le. In English, you might say, I told her. Yeah? And her already automatically tells you it's a gender in English. But the le doesn't automatically tell you a gender. So they'll probably keep the word a María, but the fact that a María is there, they won't skip that word le. It'll be there, always. Le dije la verdad, I told her the truth. Le dije a María la verdad. So, in Spanish, they're not going to skip that le word. They're going to keep it.
Le replaces a
Even
María.
if Maria's in there.
So when you do something to someone, it's le. If it's to more than one person, it's les.
So if you do something to somebody, it's le. Or to them, it's les.
Cuando vienen tus amigos. Voy a preguntarles.
I'm going to ask them. The thing you're asking is some sort of question, right? But who are you asking the question to? You're asking it to a group of people. That's the les. Voy a preguntarles. I'm going to ask them. We could take this les word and stick it in front of the conjugated verb, which is voy. Les voy a preguntar is equally correct as voy a preguntarles. Okay, so if in doubt, stick that word les in front of the first verb that you conjugate. You can't go wrong.
Remember that you can download the free PDF with all the explanations and examples of this lesson simplified by scanning this QR code or clicking the link in the description. Lo versus le. Let's see lo and le side by side in
Okay, and let's not see them side by side because that becomes yet a different question, right? So let's go back to this bookmarked idea. Mi amigo las sirve. The las, mi amigo las sirve. Las is talking about papas. We're looking back at the potatoes here, las papas, right? We automatically know from this sentence, mi amigo las sirve, that las is talking about the item being served. The thing that is being served, the thing that's on a plate. And we're sliding that plate in front of somebody, right?
Mhm.
You may hear, it is totally possible to hear, mi amigo le sirve. Mi amigo las sirve means my friend is serving them. Mi amigo les sirve also means my friend is serving them. But here, the les is talking about the people who get something on the plate. The direct object is las papas, the potato things here. Las papas, yeah? So if you hear mi amigo les sirve automatically tells you the people who are getting that object on the plate. Bien? Not the thing on the plate. Is that, see? ¿Tiene sentido? Makes sense?
Yes.
That is a word you will hear a lot. Lo, la, los, las, and those, le, and les. And those will generally, not 100% of the time, but if you're talking about plain statement of fact, generally that'll be in front of a conjugated verb. Okay? Está bien. Are we good?
Sí.
I will send you the link for that because she goes into more complicated things about that, and we're not going to get into the more complicated things yet. Okay? Because there are some more complicated situations that might come up with that, but there is a difference between the le and the les and the lo and the la and the los and the las. See? Bien? All good? Marcos.
I think I'm about to ask the obvious. So with the direct objects, like le and la, you can, I'm sorry, lo and la, you distinguishing between masculine or feminine. But the indirect objects, there is no distinction.
There's no gender in those. There's no gender in those. Let me give you another example of this. Otro ejemplo. We're gonna, oh, and I've got to adjust a couple things on my screen. Perdónenme. Excuse me while I adjust these little thingies on my screen so I can pop up a new slide. Bien, okay, vale. Let me show you where a lo versus a le, right? And let's put a la in there too, because, these have gender. This does not have gender, okay? Some examples where that might happen. Let's take the simplest verb ever, hablar. Hablar. And I'll make this a little bit bigger for those of you who are on a tablet, because I know that's always harder to see if I don't enlarge that. Okay, hablar, hablar. Bien, okay. Hablo, por ejemplo, quiero decir, I want to say, hablo alemán. I speak German. Hablo alemán. ¿Cómo se dice? I speak it. I speak it. And it's important to know it's el alemán, German, meaning the language. Yeah. Hablo alemán. ¿Cómo se dice? I speak it. We want to get rid of this word. And you know what? I'm gonna put this. Yeah, I'm gonna put this even in a more conversational context. Somebody asks you, ¿hablas alemán? And you want to say, oh, yes, I speak it. Sí.
Yo hablo.
Las
Sí,
hablos.
Sí,
I,
hablo.
I speak it.
Lo hablo.
Lo
hablo.
hablo. Sí,
Lo
lo
hablo.
hablo. Sí, lo hablo. Okay. The thing coming out of my mouth is a direct object, yeah? The thing coming out of my mouth, the words, even though it's not a solid thing, right, is el alemán German. Sí, lo hablo. I speak it. I speak it. And speak is a very specific verb, and when I speak, words are coming out of my mouth. Whatever words or ideas are coming out of my mouth, that's the lo part, right? Okay. Okay. Let's think about hablar in a different context. Hablar.
Why wouldn't that be yo hablo?
It could be. It could be. Yo lo hablo. It could be. Yo lo hablo.
Would you have to have lo?
You would
Mhm.
still have to have the lo to say
Mhm.
it. The yo is kind of this dangling appendage we don't really need in Spanish.
Okay.
And the reason we don't need it is that the verb tells the whole
Hablo.
story. Yeah.
Okay.
So in Spanish, there is a strong, strong tendency to skip the subject pronoun, skip the the subject, the doing the action, the
Really.
subject pronouns. There's a strong tendency to do that. Oh, a lot, a huge percentage of the time. And the reason is that their logic is, well, the verb tells who's doing it. I don't need to say the word yo. You
Makes
can
sense.
say the word yo. And somebody may say it when they want to make emphasis and they do something, but in English we say, oh, I speak it, and we do that with our tone of voice. So if somebody says yo lo hablo, it's like saying I speak it. Yeah. But you don't have to have this word yo. See? Lo hablo, I speak it. Let's shift gears just a little bit, but we're going to use the same verb of hablar. We're going to say, I want to express an idea now of hablo a mi esposo. I'm talking to me. Hablo a mi esposo. Después del trabajo. I talk to my husband after work,
Mhm.
right? I don't bug him in the middle of his workday. Hablo a mi esposo después del trabajo. Now, what's coming out of my mouth when I say hablo? I don't know, do I? It's just stuff, right? Whatever words come out of my mouth, that's a direct object. But who am I talking to? Remember, an indirect object is something you do something to or you do something for. Let's say I want to say, instead of hablo a mi esposo, después del trabajo, después del trabajo just tells when. I want to say, I talk to him. I talk to him after work. Or, oh, I'll talk to him after work. I'm not going to bother him now. I'll talk to him after work. Now I need something I'm doing to him. Not the words coming out of my mouth, but something I'm doing to him. I can't use a lo.
Le,
Le.
le hablo
Le hablo.
después del trabajo.
Le hablo después del trabajo. And this después del trabajo is just telling when. It has nothing to do with who's doing it or who's
Mhm.
receiving that, right? Le
Mhm.
hablo tells who I'm doing that to, right? Or who I'm doing something for, right? Okay. Otro ejemplo. Otro ejemplo. Bien. Soy una persona muy generosa. I'm going to say, I'm going to say comprar. I'm going to use comprar, buying, buying, buying. Mi esposo necesita una computadora nueva. Mi esposo necesita una computadora nueva, ¿sí?
Mhm.
¿Cómo se dice? I'm buying my husband a computer. Compro, ¿sí? Perdón. Yeah, how will I interpret this? Le compro una computadora nueva. Le
Combine
compro
him,
una computadora nueva. What is this word le talking about? Is it talking about computer or is it talking about,
husband.
The spouse.
yeah, esposo. Le compro una computadora nueva. I'm buying him. Now, him is not the thing I'm buying. In English, I'm buying him. We already know. If I say I'm buying him something, I'm buying him a computer. We already know if you say I'm buying him something, I'm not giving money to purchase a husband, right?
Right.
Right? I'm buying something, in this case, una computadora nueva. I'm buying a thing for him. Okay? So, le compro una computadora nueva. ¿Sí? I'm buying him. Oop. Okay, bien, vale, right? But if I want to say, oh, I'm buying it, yeah? Compro. Oh, if I'm talking about it meaning la computadora nueva, I need a different kind of pronoun. I cannot use a le. I need to use a
La,
la. La
la
compro.
compro.
See, la compro. And now I won't include that una computadora nueva. That whole thing has got to go bye-bye. It all is rolled up into that one itty-bitty word la. So none of those words, una computadora nueva, none of those will reappear in the shorter sentence. La compro, ¿sí? La compro a mi esposo. And maybe it, now, so le compro, I'm buying it for him, but la compro, I'm buying it, right?
Mhm.
And that is talking about the object that is being purchased. Now, here is something that you need to know. And if you want to watch the rest of that video I showed you an itty bit of, you can. But here is the very confusing thing. What if if I want to say I'm buying it for him?
Mhm.
We do that a lot, don't we? I'm buying it for him. Well, you would think here's the for him,
What
right?
they?
And here is the it thing, right?
Mhm.
You would think that would make sense. Le la compro, right?
Mm-mm.
But you can't.
Mm.
Ah, if I'm combining these two, in Spanish, you can't le lo and you can't le la. It's too much
Mhm.
la 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 la, and they don't like that. Literally, they don't like that, right? Besides that, being that lelo is a word on its own, which kind of means a dummy in Spanish. So if you want to say I'm buying it for him, meaning I'm using two object pronouns, not just one, but two of them together, that le word will have to become this, se,
Okay.
which is confusing. Se is used for lots and lots of reasons. This is one of the reasons of using se. And I will say this is not the most typical reason for using se, but when you hear a cela, those like two-word combo, a cela or a celo or a celas or a celos, it means the se is talking about human being that's getting that thing, that object. Okay, so just know that sometimes le can turn into this word se. It can. And it turns into into that word because you can't
Mhm.
le lo. You can't le lo.
Okay.
Yeah. And literally, it is a phonetic thing. It is too hard because they do the flip with the tongue. It's just, it makes life too complicated. So they
Mm.
put a different word in, which for English speakers is like, why would you want to do that? But it's what they do. So that little
Mhm.
word se can rear its ugly little head sometimes. Okay, vale, bien, bien.
Mhm.
Okay. What I would like to do, well, I guess I'll give you a choice. I've got a little reading thing ready to go. We also have the start of the video, and this is a really interesting video because it's a tour video. It's a tour, but it is super long. It is like 40 minutes long. And I wouldn't give a 40-minute long video during a 1 week session, but because we've got a bunch of weeks till fall, yeah. My thought was maybe we could watch the first 7 minutes or so to see if you're getting the big idea. Okay?
Mhm.
And let you, and I would say take this
Don't remember
apart
that.
into chunks. There will be, I'm trying to remember if it's 4 or 5. It might be 5. Cuatro o cinco. 4 lugares o 5 lugares. La mujer en el video va a hablar, a hablarles. She's going to talk to you. Va a hablarles de 4 o 5 zonas, regiones interesantes durante sus vacaciones. Vacation trip, these are all in the same geographical general area, but there are 3 specific, or there are 4 or 5 specific tours. Would that be okay? ¿Está bien? Make sense? Okay.
Sí,
Vale.
yes.
Bueno, es muy interesante. And I want to start off the first few minutes because she does have an Argentine accent, and therefore you're going to hear this zh stuff. And most of us don't do that. Yeah, right? Instead of ella, ella. Instead of llegar, to arrive, get to a place, it's llegar, llegar. So she's got that strong tendency, just so you know. She throws in little vos stuff. That's the you that they use instead of tú. It's not a biggie. You'll still get the general idea, okay? But because she has these little hitches, which are Argentine things, I like to set the pattern down so that you're prepared for hearing things that might be tweaked just a teeny tiny bit. Okay. Vamos a ver.
Bienvenidos al desierto de Atacama.
El desierto de Atacama. Atacama es un desierto. Atacama is the geographical name for a desert. And this is like a super famous place for people to go on tours and vacation.
También conocido como el desierto más seco del mundo y uno de los lugares más increíbles y surrealistas de todo el planeta Tierra.
In all of planet Earth, this is what kind of place? It's an incredible, surrealistic, kind of wild trip, right? Lugar just means place.
En este video te invito a descubrirlo conmigo.
Oh, and look, the little pronouns. En este video te invito. I invite who?
You.
You to discover. We've got a lo. To discover it. The lo is talking about Atacama, el desierto de Atacama. It's talking about el desierto de Atacama. That's what lo means. I'm inviting you to discover it conmigo.
Y a visitar 5 lugares imperdibles. 5 lugares que no te podés
5 places that you should not miss out on.
perder si venís a Atacama.
And she just uses some both things, but that comes from puede. We would say que puedes perder. No te puedes perder, you can't miss. When she says puedes, it's the Argentine thing instead of puedes. When she says venís, it's the Argentine vos thing instead of vienes, just so you know. Look for the big core of the verb and you'll know she's talking to you.
¿Están listos? Empecemos.
Okay, let's...
Pero primero me presento. Yo soy
Me presento. I am introducing myself. Me presento.
Agustina y en Dreaming Spanish te enseñamos español con videos sobre historia, cultura, idioma, viajes y todo tipo de temas. Así que ya sabes, suscríbete. El desierto de Atacama se encuentra en Sudamérica.
And the se encuentra is talking about in general, like se habla, is spoken. Se encuentra is found, meaning any old Tom, Dick, or Harry who went to this geographic area could find it. Se encuentra. El desierto de Atacama se encuentra, is found.
Más específicamente en el norte de Chile.
En el norte de Chile, northern part of Chile. Okay.
Que también abarca pequeñas partes de Perú, Bolivia y Argentina.
And the abarca just means includes. So the desert also includes other places. It includes places that also span not just into Chile, but into Peru and
Bolivia.
y Argentina.
Argentina.
So this area, el desierto, the desert, bleeds into across some other nationality, fronteras, border lines.
El desierto de Atacama es famoso por ser el desierto no polar más seco del mundo.
Más seco del mundo. It is the driest, más seco, the driest desert in the world.
Y realmente es muy extremo. Hay algunas partes, hay algunas zonas en donde no llueve hace décadas.
And we would say, donde no llueve, but she says llueve, right? Llueve, rains. No llueve hace décadas. It doesn't rain for how long?
Decades.
For decades.
Oh,
That
my.
is even worse than us. I cannot imagine.
Sí, lugares en donde hace más de 10 años que no cae una gota de lluvia.
For 10 years, not even one drop
Rain.
falls. Not even one drop of rain falls.
Cuando pensamos en un desierto,
When we think about a desert,
normalmente pensamos en esto.
normally we think about this picture here. Pensar en, you think on things in Spanish. Pensar en, you think about, you think on it. Pensar en esto.
Un mar de arena,
Un mar de arena, a sea of sand.
dunas de arena y
Sand dunes
poco más. Tal vez
and very little else. Very little more, meaning very little else. Oh, maybe these little animals. Tal vez, maybe,
es un camello. Pero el
maybe a camel. Okay.
desierto de Atacama es muy diferente. Acá vas a encontrar volcanes, lagunas de colores, vicuñas, flamencos,
Oh, wow. She's talking about all the things you're going to find in this desert. Volcanes, volcanoes, lagunas, really cognate. Lagoons, meaning ponds of water, great big ponds of water, lagunas. De colores, colored lagoons. Vicuñas, those are little, they look kind of like llamas, but they're smaller. They're animales, sí. Flamingos, wow.
salinas,
Salinas, salt plains, like, salt beds, like great expanses of salt. Like you think of what's the thing in Utah where they test cars? You know those things.
Salt flats.
There you go. Yeah, like the flats. Yeah, salinas.
valles que parecen sacados de otro planeta
Valleys that look like they've been taken out off another planet.
y mucho más. Por eso, en este video te invito a conocer los 5 lugares imperdibles.
So I invite you to get to know, conocer, to become familiar with the 5 unmissable, not to be missed places. Imperdibles, not to be missed.
5 lugares que no te podés perder si visitas el desierto de Atacama. Y ojo, te aviso que voy a ser muy honesta. Te voy a
And watch out, I'm going to be very honest.
dar mi opinión verdadera sobre si vale la pena o no visitar estos lugares.
I'm going to give you my true opinion, my real opinion on whether it's worth the effort. You're going to hear this phrase a lot in the 40 minutes of the video. Vale la pena. It's worth the pain, meaning worth the effort. Vale la pena. Oh no, if it's worth the effort or not to visit these places.
Empezamos con el primero. Vamos. Primer parada en el desierto de
First stop.
Atacama. Vamos a visitar el salar y particularmente una parte del salar que se llama
And Salar is talking about salt. It's a salt plain.
Piedras Rojas.
Piedras Rojas, red rocks. Red rock. We have red rock area. Our red rocks, when we talk about the west of the U.S., is, like where we live, red rocks, and north up in Utah into parts of Colorado. We call that red rock country. This for them is their red rock country. Se llama Piedras Rojas, red rocks.
Me ven así porque
Me ven. You guys see me. You guys see me. Me ven.
hace
You see me like this, and she's all wrapped up in a coat.
bastante frío
It's
y
pretty
estamos altos. Estamos a
And we are way up high. Estamos altos. We are not tall. We are way up high. Altos. So high elevation.
unos 4.000 metros de altura.
4,000 meters in height. Yeah. Altitude.
Así que estamos altos, hace frío. Tengo el pelo en una trenza porque hay
I got my hair tied back because it's windy.
bastante viento y tenemos que caminar por este sendero más o menos 1 hora.
And we've got to walk along this path, sendero, this trail, for more or less an hour.
Así que vamos, estoy muy emocionada, le tengo mucha fe a este lugar. Mucha gente dice que es el más lindo de todo
And le tengo. I've got a lot of, good faith, good vibes about this. They say
el
it's the prettiest
desierto de
place in the whole
Atacama.
desert.
Así que vamos a ver qué tal. Chicos, por si se preguntaban, si hacía frío o no, acá estoy con la nieve.
If you were wondering if I was cold or not, here you see, I'm here with snow. La nieve is the thing. I'm here with snow.
Sí,
Claro.
miren, hay nieve en el camino.
There's snow on the path.
Yo supongo que acá de noche hace mucho
Uh,
más frío
I suppose during the night it's really cold.
y nieva,
Colder.
y durante el día
And it snows.
no llega a hacer suficiente calor
And during the day, it doesn't get warm enough.
como para que la nieve se derrita.
It doesn't get warm enough during the day for it to melt.
Entonces, durante el día encontramos la nieve así. Qué loco, ¿no?
So this is crazy. We find
Cuando
snow
uno
here.
dice el desierto más seco del mundo, no se imagina nieve, pero acá estamos con nieve.
Yeah, you don't really think about snow when you think about the driest desert in the world, but here we are with snow.
Empezamos con una de las postales, uno de los
This is like a
lugares
postcard.
más icónicos y más famosos de todo el desierto de
Iconic
Atacama.
place.
Esto es Piedras Rojas.
There's
Y
red
como
rocks.
su nombre dice, son piedras. Estas piedras son de origen volcánico
These are volcanic origin rocks.
y tienen mucho hierro. Hierro
They have a lot of iron. Hierro is iron.
que se oxida y es
Iron that se oxida. It gets, it gets oxidized. It rusts.
ese óxido
Produces
les
rust.
da el color rojizo. Lo más
And the iron gives these rocks their red
The red
color.
color.
Yeah, rojizo means reddish. Yeah, you can see the word rojo buried in there. Rojizo, the reddish color, reddish, rojizo.
sorprendente
Oh, the more surprising thing, the most surprising thing, lo más sorprendente, the most surprising thing,
lo más choqueante de
the most
este lugar
shocking.
no es solamente el color de las piedras, sino el contraste.
So the most shocking thing is not just the red
Contrast.
color, but rather, sino is but rather the contrast in
Las
color.
piedras rojas contrastan, chocan con el color de la laguna, que es turquesa. Después vemos un salar.
So the kind of turquoise blue of the water contrasts with the red of the rocks.
Vemos un desierto de sal
And we have a salt desert plain here.
de color blanco y más atrás las montañas marrones.
And then we've got brown mountains in the background. So we got these colors that all kind of combine.
Entonces, todos estos colores realmente hacen un paisaje impresionante. Es un paisaje
They really make an impressive landscape.
muy único. Chicos, esto es impresionante. El agua de la laguna está congelada.
Oh, the water in this lagoon is in a certain state. It is congelada. It is not liquid. It is
Yeah.
frozen. It's all frozen over. So if it were liquidy looking, it would be maybe a little more bluish on your screen, but está congelada. It is frozen.
Está completamente congelada. Es todo hielo. Increíble.
ice.
Bueno, les voy a decir qué opino. Opinión
I'm going to give you my opinion now. ¿Qué opino? What do I think? What's my opinion?
honesta de Piedras
Honest
Rojas.
opinion.
Vale la pena.
Worth the effort.
Sí, sí, vale la pena. Es un lugar muy raro, muy único.
It's a really weird and unique place.
Nunca vi algo así.
I never
Y
saw anything like it.
realmente está bien. Cuesta
really
unos
nice.
$17
Oh, it costs about 17
por
bucks.
persona ingresar a este parque que incluye Piedras Rojas y también otros lugares que se pueden ver, aunque lo más importante
So the 17 bucks includes some other places you can tour and the Red Rocks place. And now she's going to say, lo más importante, the most important thing. Lo más importante, the most important thing.
Es Piedras Rojas, así que está bien de precio dentro de todo.
So, it's an okay price. Inside all that concept of all that stuff, it's an okay price.
El camino es asfaltado, la ruta
It's a paved road.
está asfaltada, no es de tierra, no es
It's not a dirt road.
de piedra, así que llegas muy bien.
So you can get here really easily because it's a paved road, asphalt.
Y después, para llegar a Piedras Rojas, tenés que caminar, pero no es una caminata difícil.
So you do have to walk when you get here, but it's not a hard hike.
Lo único difícil es la
The only hard thing. We have to plug in the word thing. Lo único difícil. The only hard thing is
altura. Es que estás
is the altitude. Okay.
a 4.000 metros y por eso te quedas sin aire.
So it's hard to breathe. You're left without air, meaning it's hard to breathe because you're at high altitude. Okay. 4,000 meters is high altitude.
¿No? Acá hay menos oxígeno.
Less oxygen.
Y bueno, el viento y el frío también son complicados, pero vale la pena. Para mí, Piedras Rojas, sí, cumple con la expectativa
It fulfills the expectations.
y lo recomiendo.
Lo recomiendo. I recommend it. And now it is not just a thing, it's the whole experience. Yeah, we're talking more abstractly with the word it, meaning the visit, the trip, doing it, coming here. I recommend it. It needs to be that lo word because it's an it's like a big abstract. Yeah, the activity of coming to this place. Okay, that gives you an idea of what the rest of it is going to sound like. Each place is going to be a different snippet, but I would recommend you take like 10 minutes each, 10 minutes a week, another 10 minutes, right? And another 10 minutes. Bien?
Bien.
Yeah.
Vale.
Vale.
Fantástico. I have gone over. Lo siento mucho. Sorry about that. Okay. Bien. And so notice when they're using these little speed bumps should be hopefully a little bit less intimidating with listening. And do turn on the subtitles and turn them on
I
in
have to.
Spanish. Listen a couple of times, but try not to cheat and turn on English subtitles first. Turn them on in Spanish first so that you can follow along and connect the words as they flow. Okay? Todo bien?
Okay. Pero bien.
So you got some things to do
Okay.
for the time off as well. Muchísimas gracias.
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 Muchísimas gracias. Excelente. Sí. Nos vemos entonces en septiembre. Hopefully we'll see you guys in September. ¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Todo bien?
Sí.
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 Muchísimas
Sí.
Hasta luego.
gracias. ¿Sí? Excelente. Sí.
Hasta la
Y
vista.
Sí, hasta la vista. Sí, y cuídense, cuídense.